Now, David, is there any hope for the states? Trump, of course, is speaking out more and more, but he's been making some particularly interesting comments and I think cocking a snoot at Biden.
Well, yes, I want this as a brief report here, just to let people know exactly what the state of play is in American politics. So here we see CNN Politics talking about the polling results. So the last time a presidential frontrunner had this much of a primary lead, he became the nominee. Now, Trump is so far ahead, he's out of sight. He's not even attending the debates. He's supported by 58% of the potential GOP primary electors. He's 43 points ahead of the next placed person, Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida. Right? He's absolutely out of sight. He's not even bothering to attend the debates because he doesn't need to. Now, if we then look at this on a national scale and how he might stack up against Biden, well, the Washington Post commissioned a poll and found that he was 10 points ahead, 52 to 42, ahead of Joe Biden. Although they then suggested that their own poll was perhaps misleading. So the point I want to make here is Trump, for all of his woes, his legal woes, for all of the constant drumbeat of prosecution that he's facing, is still massively popular in the States and is looking, as these polls are to be believed, like a winner. And he's playing some of the rest of the things for laughs. Whatever he might lack as a political leader, and I think he does lack more than a few things, one of them isn't comedy timing. So we've got a little video here of him describing Joe Biden. And I think this sort of mockery is going to be effective.
Does anybody think he's going to make it to the starting gate? I mean, the guy can't find his way off of a stage. Look, here's a stage. Here's a stage. I've never seen this stupid stage before, right? I've never seen it. But if I walk left, there's a stair. And if I walk right, there's a stair. And this guy gets up. Where am I? Where the hell am I? Where am I? Nah, he's terrible. Terrible.
So, comedy timing, comedy gold, actually. If whatever else it will be dull. Mark, I'm sure you want to say a few words.
Yeah, Trump has sort of that Rodney Dangerfield one-liner approach and delivery at times. He can be very funny, but I'll say something else that I think you'll find interesting, David and Brian. He started saying very recently, left-wing liberal fascists. Fascism is usually an epithet or a pejorative reserved for the so-called far right that's supposedly threatening the world and menacing the world. And I've covered Trump in person in 2016 in Austin, 2020 in Las Vegas. I've watched him very closely. He's never said liberal left-wing fascists before. He's turning it around. He's pinning that fascist label on the left, which is a good tactic because they are much more likely, compared to his philosophy, to combine corporate power with government power and create kind of a crony capitalism, which, according to Ron Paul and others, is kind of the new fascism or the most accurate definition of fascism. So in terms of tactics, whatever Trump lacks in his bookish ways, he's not exactly a librarian or a super intellectual. He makes up for it with tactics and strategy. He's a good tactician, and calling him left-wing fascists is part of that, those clever tactics that he's so adept at.
Okay. Mark, thank you very much for that. I'll just add to it, I still find it incredible that a nation such as America would allow Biden to remain president when clearly he's not in a mental condition to enable him to function as president. This says something about America as a whole, but we'll have to save the rest of the conversation for extra.